Villain number one for AISD and many other school districts across the state is the state policy known as Robin Hood.
We're contemplating things like school closures and consolidations, all at a time when taxpayers are paying more.
You know, as we bring in more tax revenue, they're just taking it away.
Texas's school finance system is a complicated web of formulas, but here are the basics. Each district is allowed $5,140 per student to start. That money comes from local property taxes first. Some property-rich places can fill that up all the way. Then money over that, the recapture, goes back to the state to help fill up property-poor districts. Robin Hood, take from property-rich to give to property-poor. The idea is that every child, no matter where they live, should be worth the same amount of money. And here's why it's now a political problem.
We must finally rein in skyrocketing property taxes in Texas.
More people move to Texas, and property values rise with the housing demand. Now, since school money pulls from property taxes first, districts pay more locally. Take Central Texas. When recapture started, only one district paid into Robin Hood. It used to be just wealthy suburbs and areas with oil and gas. Now, large urban districts with a lot of poor, English as a second language, and special needs students pay into it now too. So with rising values, now 13 school districts pay into it in Central Texas. 191 pay into it across the state. Austin pays the most in Robin Hood, sending around half of its money to the state. Now the state can pay less to achieve the per-student allotment. The Texas Education Agency expects to pay $3.5 billion less this budget than last budget. And property taxpayers are feeling the squeeze. So if voters don't want Robin Hood, why can't we get rid of it?
Well, it wouldn't be constitutional. I mean, you'd run right smack into the Supreme Court.
University of Texas law professor Scott McCown would know. This all started in 1984, when the court sided with the Edgewood School District in a lawsuit against the state. From 1990 to 2002, McCown was the district judge over the case. According to the Texas Constitution, every student has to be educated to maintain our rights and liberties. He says before Edgewood, some school districts were the best in the country and some could barely keep the lights on.
The school districts that had the resources would not vote for taxes to fund the school districts that didn't. So the idea was that we don't care what you spend, just do it equally.
And most lawmakers know they can't kill Robin Hood completely this legislative session.
We don't have the dollars to declare it dead. It should be rebalanced and overwhelmingly reduced.
So what are some realistic solutions? Lawmakers can raise that basic amount per student so rich districts can keep more of their property taxes and the state would have to pay more for property poor areas. They could cap the amount of property taxes collected, meaning the state would be forced to pump in more money unless they want huge cuts in education. Or they could put in additional money streams for teachers, at-risk areas, or good performance. They're working on some of those ideas now, but don't expect them to end Robin Hood completely anytime soon.